prudent state understands that violence is not merely an act. It is a discipline, a language, and a moral habit. A man does not become willing to kill simply because he is handed a weapon. He must first be taught that there are categories of human beings whose deaths do not carry the normal moral weight. Every state that wages war must create those categories. It must name the enemy before it can kill him with a clean conscience. For 250 years, America has trained men inside that moral structure. It has told them that killing can be duty, that obedience can be virtue, that violence can preserve order, and that the man who hesitates may endanger his own people. This is not an accusation. It is the machinery of war. No empire, republic, or kingdom survives without teaching some portion of its population how to suspend ordinary morality on command. The danger begins when that training returns home, and the state forgets what it has made. A government cannot create generations of soldiers, police, hunters, shooters, veterans, fighters, and military-minded citizens, then assume they will think like clerks. It cannot build a warrior class through necessity, myth, entertainment, recruitment, discipline, and inherited service, then expect that class to accept humiliation with the temperament of a bureaucrat. Men trained to identify threats will continue identifying them. Men trained to act when order fails will not remain passive forever if they conclude order has already failed. Modern entertainment has deepened this pattern. The state does not need to command every film, game, or story. It only needs a culture where its interests and the market's interests align. Military hardware makes movies larger. First-person shooters make war playable. Drone footage makes killing look technical. Superhero stories, revenge stories, war games, gangster games, and post-apocalyptic fantasies all repeat the same lesson. When institutions fail, the decisive man becomes lawful in his own mind. The screen trains the imagination before the state ever trains the body. This is why the accusation of monstrosity is politically dangerous. If a society tells young men long enough that they are violent, hateful, racist, fascist, obsolete, guilty, and dangerous, some will resist the label. Some will collapse under it, but some will accept it. That is the point at which accusation becomes identity. A state should fear the moment when a man stops saying, "I am not what you call me," and begins saying, "Fine, then I will become what you already decided I was." This is not a moral defense of violence. It is an observation about power. A ruler who creates a warrior class must either honor it, absorb it, discipline it. What he cannot safely do is demonize it, dispossess it, mock it, and then rely on its restraint. Restraint is not infinite. Shame is not infinite. Legitimacy is not infinite. When men no longer believe the law protects their people, they begin to see law as theater. The word terrorist revealed the mechanism clearly. It became a category of human being whose death required less explanation. Every age creates such words. Every faction wants one. The danger in a collapsing society is that these words begin moving inward. The enemy is no longer across the ocean. The enemy becomes the neighbor, the dissident, the voter, the policeman, the migrant, the nationalist, the protester, the veteran, the journalist, the official. Once a population accepts that its domestic opponents are not mistaken citizens but moral contaminants, politics becomes pre-war. The question is not whether Americans are uniquely violent. The question is whether America has spent centuries producing citizens capable of organized violence while simultaneously destroying the institutions that restrain them. The state asks men to kill for order abroad, then returns them to a country where order appears negotiable, crime appears political, truth appears managed, and victims appear secondary to narrative. A wise government would see the danger immediately. A foolish one would continue lecturing the people it has already armed, trained, and alienated. The warning is simple. Do not teach men that violence can be moral, then convince them they are surrounded by enemies. Do not train citizens to recognize threats, then make them believe their own government refuses to recognize those threats. Do not build a warrior tradition across centuries. Feed it through entertainment, recruit through its fantasies, rely on it in war, and then treat it as a disease in peace. A society that does this is not preventing violence. It is storing it. The most dangerous man is not the man who loves violence. The most dangerous man is the man who believes violence has become necessary, lawful in spirit, and morally cleaner than continued submission. That is the point where civilization fails. Not when men become evil, but when they become convinced that evil is the only remaining instrument of order.